Today I want to talk about the feeling of having to build yourself completely after your 30s at 34 exactly for me. And I feel like no one really talks about it while they are in it. And as good as it is to have the experience of someone who's been through something and who's went to the other side and transcend it, I feel like it's as important to have the experience of someone who is navigating it right now and sharing it as it is as it comes. Because I feel like when you jump from, and by the way, I think that it's totally okay and normal and very healthy to be in between identities. And if you are committed to your evolution and growth, this is something that you will have to go through so many times if you are lucky in your life. So I don't go through that as, oh my god, I'm still not the person that I want to be. Oh my god, how can I become her? Oh my god, why I'm still not that version of me. I'm really not in that mindset anymore, because I understand that each time I'm just leveling up and it's just the process. So I'm not the version that I was before, and I'm still not quite sure who is the new version that I will be tomorrow. And I'm trying to find a little bit of comfort in that uncomfort, just knowing that this is called growth. Okay, so when you jump from one version to another, it will have different goals and different coloration along the way. And um, it will not always be like rebuilding yourself from scratch, from zero. I don't believe we ever start again from zero. We feel sometimes that it is from zero, but it is never from zero, because we accumulated experiences, memories, growth, and so many things, identities that we develop and reveal about ourselves. So I don't believe we ever start from zero, but maybe some phases of life will make us feel like we start from zero more than others. And so I wanted to share my own journey. Maybe it can inspire you, or maybe you want to share about your own specific journey in the comment section. I would be so glad about it. But for me right now in my life, I'm not at the point where I'm feeling like I'm rebuilding myself from zero. I'm just feeling like the version that I became until now and the version that I needed to be to survive until now, it was great, but it's starting to feel like there is a big mismatch between the visible version of me and the version that I really am inside. And it's like my mental part of me went so far ahead, and the body physical part of me, I'm not just talking about beauty as in a very like glow up kind of way, like my teeth are white enough and is my nose good enough and is my jawline shown enough. No, but when I say visibly, it's like the way that I represent and carry myself, and the response from the external world to me is not quite matching the person that I become. And it's my fault, because I let my mind go way in front, and I forgot about my body. And my body, even though now I'm taking care of it, I'm eating healthy, I'm doing sports, I'm going for a walk every day, I'm messaging my face like I show you, I make video for you, and it's helping a lot. It's really part of the process, because it's connecting me to my body, and it helps me do it like a daily thing to really embody the person that I feel I am inside. It's not the person that I want to be anymore. It's the person that I am, but needs to be revealed and shown externally, and needs to feel safe, because it's also a lot about nervous system. It needs to be safe to emerge and take the risk to be judged for who she really is. Because it's one thing to show yourself, like you can think, but you are on YouTube, you are making videos, everyone can see you, you are a coach, you are coaching people, like you are showing yourself. I used to be a chemist engineer, then I became a wedding photographer. I was putting myself forward, but there is a difference between putting a part of you forward for not saying a character that we play forward, but sometimes it's also just a tiny part of us. Like when I was a photographer, I remember in that moment I was way younger and I was so afraid of speaking in front of other people. I was so ashamed. Even making a presentation at school was so hard for me. And I remember when I was a wedding photographer, I had to call people for big photo. There was sometimes 200 people that they had to deal with, etc. And I built this little character, this little part of Cora, who is able to yell at 200 people when I was coming home and then going under the blanket and not talking to anyone for like 5 days because it took so much energy from me. But it was easier when I had to show just a tiny part of me, or I had to build like some kind of character, or some alter ego, some kind of alter ego. But when you actually have to reveal who you are, like who you are in your coloration, like your real self, it activates your nervous system and you start to feel scared. It starts to feel risky. So I'm having that thing to transcend right now, and I'm doing it, but I feel like I'm still in the process, and I feel like it's so vulnerable and hard for me to do so. But this is why it's so important to come here and share that phase of my life with you. So yeah, where I am at right now is just a person trying to make the invisible visible and try to show to the world who I really am visibly, not just mentally, and to feel like the external world respond to me the way that I can represent myself to who I am. It doesn't make any sense, but I'm sure you will understand if you go through that phase, or if you ever went through that phase where you no longer are who you used to be and who other people refer to you as and see you as, but you are not still quite the person that you feel inside, and that the external world still doesn't respond to you the way that it should if you were yourself visibly, So something funny happened that I was talking about it with ChatGPT. I'm so ashamed to say that, but it's like really helpful to hear myself speak. And sometimes I used to use friends for that, and I was making WhatsApp audio for 20 minutes, and I realized like people are not there for that. They are good friends, they love you, and they will not say anything because they love you too much to say it, but this 20 minutes audio should not be on their shoulders. And so ChatGPT helped me so much with that I can just speak or write and hear me speak, and see me write and read myself, and then I dive into myself with like some kind of external opinion, but it's not really the opinion that matters to me. Like I don't talk to even my friends or people or a coach or ChatGPT to have really their opinion. I feel like we all have the answers that we need inside, especially for our own life. I'm not talking about astronomy or mathematics. I'm talking about just my own life and decisions. So I have all the answers, but sometimes I need a back and forth and some reflection, and just to hear myself speak and hear myself think for a while before I can understand what's going on. And so I used ChatGPT for this, and at some point ChatGPT was like, okay, let me reframe what you just said just to make sure that I got it. And he was like, by the way, the more you speak with ChatGPT with self-awareness, like it will imitate you, which is really nice when you want to hear yourself speak, because then it's really your level of conversation is reflected back to you. So if I just say to ChatGPT, I'm feeling down right now, it will not help me, because it will be like, oh no, don't feel down, why are you feeling down? I mean, it will be the same level of conversation. But if I go deep and I'm like, this time, these days I'm in between season, and I feel like the person that I am inside doesn't match the person that I am outside, and I feel that this is because if I reflect on it, blah 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 blah, then it will respond to me on the same level, and then it allows me to respond always on the same level and go deep with myself. Anyway, maybe I should not say that, because maybe ChatGPT should not replace like a professional, but for now it's helping me. Okay, so what can I do? um and yeah, he was like, let me reframe what you just said just to make sure that I got everything right. And he was like, so you're saying like you are very healthy and you are very much in love with your husband and everything is going well, you have love, health, stability, security, freedom, you travel, and you are feeling in an in-between season, blah, blah, blah. And then he was just repeating what I just said in my like super long message, and he was trying to reframe it in like a couple of sentences. And when I read it, I was like, literally, that's what I just said. And I was, when I was saying it, I was not realizing that I have all of that. So the list that he made about all that I have, I was like, wow, I'm so lucky. I'm even feeling bad to even complain about anything. And it's true. Like, I have love, I have stability, I have help, I have support, I have health, I have freedom, I have like financial security and all of that. And it's important to say because I feel like when you don't have all of that, which was my case um, before, not so long before actually, um, you don't start from from the same point where you can reflect about things in an open mind. And it's not your fault, it's just because your circumstances are too overwhelming and it's impossible for you to be in your bigger self and think about life and all of that, because you need to think about very tangible things that you need for right now: financial security, freedom, these kind of things. So I don't want you to compare with me, and I don't want you to feel like, oh, I'm not thinking like that, maybe I'm not enough into positive thinking or anything like that, because I used to be in another situation and it was another story and I got out of it. And now I'm able to reflect on it with such being able to let go and feel so at ease with that in between season and feel so good. And also, I experienced that before so many times, this in between season of becoming the person that I feel inside, or achieve on my way to a goal that is important for me but still not there yet. I've known that phase so many times that now it's almost familiar and comfortable for me. Not really, it's still uncomfortable even after all this time, but it's less uncomfortable than it was and very less scary than it was in the very beginning. So yeah, that's just a little bit a long like recap of where I am right now. So let's sum up. I'm 34. I'm rebuilding myself. It's actually a pleasurable experience because I don't come from the intention of like becoming something that I'm not. I'm coming from the intention that I feel who I am inside. I'm ready to let it shine, and I can't wait to see how it will all unravel in front of me. And so I'm full of faith. I'm grateful, and I just want to really just want to share that journey with you. And I'm not perfect, and sometimes I'm negative about it, and sometimes I feel the rush to become that person. And I like to remind myself, like, maybe in 2 years you will reach this visible transformation in the matter and really feel that you are that person inside and out, that you feel inside in your soul. But you know what? In 2 years, you'll also be 2 years older. So don't rush to that point, because in that moment, you will feel like, oh, I lost 2 years of my life trying to become that which I eventually became. So I don't know, maybe it's just me, but this thought helps me a lot. Not that 2 years older me is so much older and I don't want to be older, but I just want to really enjoy the life of every year that I get to live. So building myself doesn't mean fixing, doesn't mean being in the self-improvement mindset, trying to understand everything and read every book about that. It doesn't mean hustling, it doesn't mean rushing. But here is what it means for me at 34, because I also want you to understand that it's okay to be in the in between season. It's okay, and it can even be very pleasurable, because I used to think that by the time I'm 30 years old, I should have my life figured out. I should know exactly who I am, and I should have the perfect job, and I should be all of that, and I should. And it doesn't work like that, because until my death, and I hope so, until I die, I will go through so many in between seasons, becoming even more closer to who I really am and what I really have inside, and what I can really experience in this life, and expanding, always expanding, like the universe, naturally expanding as a human being on this planet who is already expanding on that solar system. Anyway, let's not go into physics and metaphysics right now. So, building myself right now looks like for me becoming visibly in my body, in my physique, the person that I feel inside. I've reached a level where I like to take care of myself. I like to do sport, and go to the gym and do some boxing and do some Pilates and do some yoga. I love doing sport. It was not always the case. I was the person who thought that she would never like sport. She would always like to sit on the couch and do nothing. And it happens sometimes, and I love it to sit in front of a series and do nothing. But I also really love to go to the gym and go with my husband and go with some friends and do Pilates and have a teacher, and my teacher is amazing, and all of that. So I really grew my identities around that. I love to go for a walk every day. I love to exercise. I love to eat healthy. I love to take care of my body. I love to meditate. I love all of that. But it still didn't translate into the physical world. Not that, for example, when I was super addicted to sugar, like maybe 4 years ago, for all my life until 4 years ago, I was very, very addicted to sugar. And this is something that I really transcended, and I'm so happy about. Like, it really changed my life. After that, I lost maybe 6 or 7 kilos. I was not super fat, but I had this chubby weight of a person that eats too much sugar, that is visible generally on the belly, um, sangle, abdominal sangle, we are saying in French. I'm not sure it translates into English. Anyway, um, so it did translate into the physical, but I still feel like there is a big gap. So that's what I was saying in the beginning of the video, that it's not that I come from zero. It's not that I advanced my mind and I didn't take care of my body. It was the case in the beginning that I really like went forward with my mind and mindset and all of that, and I forgot about my body. But for maybe now 3 years, I would say, I'm really focused also to my body, and especially since end of 2024, which I talked about in another about me video, but whatever. I like really started to massage my face, to see the difference, to connect to my body and all of that. But the thing is that in 1 or 2 years focusing on my body, it still seems that it's not enough. And I know it might be a like a limiting belief that I have, so please don't quote me on that. But this is just how I feel, that 1 or 2 years focused on my body was not enough to catch up on the advance that I took with my mind. And so I'm still feeling like I'm doing everything. I'm taking care of my body. I'm including my body finally in the equation. But still, it's not enough, because my mind is so advanced that it's always feel frustrating to come back to the body and see that oof, it's way harder and heavier to advance at the same speed that my mind advanced. So I might never catch up that um, that difference. And I guess there is a double work for me. In on one side, yeah, to focus on the body and to advance my body, to feel good at where I'm at and to feel like myself. But there is also a work to, I don't like the word acceptance, because it feels like forcing something that you don't want to feel, but just maybe to find a comfort in that discomfort of the difference between my mind and my body. Because the truth is that our body is the matter and our mind is like a spirit. So of course the two will not race at the same speed. It's like putting a turtle and putting like, I don't know, a fox near each other and making them race together. Of course, even if you train the turtle and you stop focusing on the fox and you just train the turtle might catch up a little bit, but it will never race at the same speed as the fox. So there is also, I mean, of course, if you have a turtle and a fox and you don't focus on the turtle, the fox will be so far ahead, you know? So you cannot just leave the turtle and do nothing. You need to train the turtle, you need to focus on the turtle, you need to accompany the turtle, and you need to be with the turtle, but you also need to acknowledge that the turtle is, why is such a hard word to say? The turtle, do I have an English accent suddenly? The turtle will always get slower than the fox, and it's not because the turtle is less than the fox. It's just because it's another animal and has um, other good things about it that you need to exploit. And the point is not just to finish the race, um, the first, because the end of the race is just dying and going to the next level, you know. So stopping believing that the purpose is to finish the race is also something that I need to work on. So anyway, I want to transform the physical. Like, I feel like I'm good in my body. I have my body weight that I feel comfortable in. I'm reaching a point where my mind is telling me, like, why should we push for more? But I also feel like this is just a comfortable, familiar place, and this is the reason why I should push for more, because behind the comfort might hide something that I never thought I could be. And that would be the real, like, wow, I am who I feel inside, like that goddess energy. So yeah, I love my body. I'm grateful for it. I'm so healthy. I'm grateful for it. But I do feel like there is a level of goddess body that I still didn't attain, and that I can attain, not because I need to have the perfect body, I need to be skinny, I need to be this and that. I don't refer to it like that, but just because it's me, you know, it's me. It's 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 just me. I know that I'm a fucking goddess. I have the soul of an angel. Like, I don't like to say those things, but I'm practicing trying to admit it out loud. Like, if I really feel my soul, I have the soul of an angel. And I want my body to look like it. I want my body to feel like this is the body of an angel. That's it. So yeah, it might be vain, but this is what I feel. This is what I feel. There is another level for me that is even more like me. So I need to rebuild myself physically in my body. I want also to rebuild myself in my business posture, because I had business for several years. I did so many things that it's hard to go through everything, but basically I was a chemist engineer, and then I felt I had too much creativity for that job. It was nice, but definitely I could not see myself doing that for the rest of my life. And very quickly, after 1 year of working, I but 6 years of studying it, you know, I decided to follow my passion for photography, and for 6 years, something like that, I became a photographer, mainly wedding photographer. I was traveling abroad, taking photo everywhere in so many countries and cities. It was amazing, but it was also not my natural rhythm. I was always trying to find new clients. I was, even after 6 years of working, I was still feeling like I'm starting from zero, because every year I cannot have the same clients because people get married just one time. And so it was always like a rush. I was working every weekend, every summer. It was like not something I could imagine myself doing after 30 or 40 years old with husband and kids or whatever. So I started to meditate, because I was feeling, it's such a long story. I actually discovered meditation very randomly in the same time of my life, and it helped me a lot. And after a few years, I decided to move abroad, and I didn't know what to do. I studied Ayurveda. I was feeling attracted by it. And in the meantime, I decided to give some meditation class just to survive. I was having also some money on the side. And I was just thinking I will do some meditation class, just the time for me to get my Ayurveda diploma. Ayurveda is the Indian medicine, by the way. And then by the time I got my diploma, my meditation business was already starting to thrive on Instagram. And people were asking me for more because people were meditating because they were having some real life situations. Sometimes they were stressed about their work, their relationship, this and that. And I started to talk with them, and I realized I don't have the keys to help them. And it feels frustrating because it's good to meditate, but I feel like we should go deeper into their problems. So I trained myself to coaching techniques and manifestation and all of that. And I started to also manifest a lot of things in my life and discovered that because I started from zero in that moment, really started from zero. Like my relationship ended, my apartment finished, my COVID was there. I mean, I lost basically everything, and I went abroad and I started um, manifesting apartments and people and things, and I was just having fun with that. And then it became so big that I was like, oh, people need to know about that. Anyway, and last year was very, if you know numerology, it's a year 9, and I'm also like my birth date makes me on the same rhythm as the planet, which makes it every year like so intense for me. So last year was a cleanse year, cleaning, like end of a cycle, all of that, and I really felt it. And suddenly I felt like Instagram was not aligned with the person that I was becoming at all, like at all. The problem is that my full business was on it and in French. And at the middle of the year last year, or middle end, I started to switch my business in English and erase everything and start again from zero on YouTube, on that channel that you are watching right now. So that would be so helpful to follow, comment, like, subscribe. No, I'm just joking. I really want you to subscribe only if you really resonate and like what I'm saying. Although if you are here after 20 minutes of me talking about my life, you might be the right fit for this channel. Okay, so yeah, all of that to say, like in my business life, I'm really starting from zero, and I feel like it's the maybe the space where it feels the most uncomfortable, and where I was having the most the idea that I should be somewhere better right now at my age. And I'm trying to push that idea and that limiting belief, but it's there. I can feel it. I can hear it in my mind. Like, oh, you're starting from zero, you're 34, your business was thriving, and you killed everything to start over in another language, not really knowing what you're doing, what's happening. Like my mind is like, okay, I know, I trust you, I know we've been there before, but right now, are you sure? Yeah, I am actually, but it feels weird and uncomfortable. So yeah, I want to rebuild myself professionally. I want to feel like I'm thriving again in my business, and I'm helping so many people, and I'm having fun doing it and all of that. And then I really need to rebuild myself in my style and wardrobe. Nothing feels right anymore. Nothing looks like me anymore. I actually like my summer wardrobe, but I live in Germany where it's winter like 9 months out of 12. So I need to do something about it. I've been pushing it, and I'm always like, oh, I'm waiting for the summer, but the summer is like 2 months in the year, and the rest of the year I don't feel like myself. So it's not okay. I know at some point I might move to somewhere sunnier where I can be my sunny self full year. But for now, I really need to adapt, and I need to find a way to be myself in the midst of winter. That's it. And basically, all of that is me returning to a most natural energy, something that feels like me and looks like me and smells like me and attracts like me. So I do feel old sometimes. I do feel like I'm starting over. I do feel like I'm a failure. I do sometimes feel disappointed. I do feel like everything is so slow. But you know what? It's just emotions. I like to remind myself that it's just emotions to feel. In the end, it cannot really impact me if I don't let it impact me. It cannot really touch me. It's just feeling exhausted, feeling tired, feeling disappointed, feeling like a failure. All of that is just a feeling. It's really just a feeling. And I'm safe to feel it. I'm even glad to feel anything that I'm required to feel on the way to my dreams. It's more than worth it. So I feel that this is the phase that no one talks about until it's finished and they are on the other side and then they're like, oh yeah, before I was like this and then I'm like that. And I understand why, because there is a shameful feeling attached to all of that. There is a part of me that wants to hide myself in the process, that wants to let the change happen in the dark where no one can see and then come back all shiny and all arrived and, just talk from that mountain that, I used to be like you. But it also won't teach as much as me coming here, vulnerable and sharing it. And I also understood that there is not really a moment when I will feel arrived in that sense, because I will always evolve and be in the growth mindset, and I will always see the next level and the next identities that I can unlock and the next possibilities for me and the next things that will make me look a little bit more like me. And so waiting to feeling arrived is not a good strategy. I also got rid of the idea that people will judge me for being a coach and not having my shit figured out. But you know what? I'm confident that I'm such a good coach for my clients, the people that choose me for a part of their way, because I'm not a good coach because I have all the answers. I'm just a good coach because I know how to ask the right questions. I have so much intuition to feel so many things for the people that come to me. I never viewed my job either from a place where I scream from a mountain top to others who are down of me. I know that I'm able to regulate myself enough so that I can be fully present with the people who choose me and not focused on me, whatever circumstances that I'm in. Right now, I'm very stable and very happy, and everything is all right. But maybe someday I will lose someone that is very dear to my heart, or maybe someday I will have a very bad day, or I won't have a good night of sleep, and still I'm able to regulate myself and be the best regulated version of me that I can be for my clients, because I love it. I just love it to put my own self on the side and focus on another human being and be of service. You know, we often hear the idea that you should be motivated by the gain, and it's good to win money, it's good to earn your life, it's good to level up, it's good to be a leader and all of that. But really what motivates me at the end of the day is just being of service, just feeling like I contribute, just feeling that my existence is a small spark that touched other souls. And so I'm digging the path while I'm talking. I'm an amazing coach, and I can be vulnerable. I can share my process and I can share my own journey. And the people who will feel that I'm not the right fit for them because of that, maybe we are actually not a good fit. People who expect me to be perfect and to have everything figured out and to never go through any in between transition or season, we are not meant to work together, because you didn't get that growth mindset means being in an in between journey at a lot of moments of your life if you are lucky. So I'm not rushing it. I don't have to. I am allowing my body and the matter to take as long as they need to realign and recalibrate. I'm already feeling like I'm catching up. I'm not late. I'm building myself slowly, surely, and I will document it so that if you are also in an in between season, you'll feel less alone, less behind, and more safe integrating at the space that is actually yours to let your outer life catch up to who you've become inside. Babe, we got this. See you in the next one.